My brother applied to my company using my projects, failed the interview, and blamed me for not helping him. My brother Felix and I both went to the same state school, but chose different paths. I studied computer science and worked nights at a call center to pay for certifications. Felix studied philosophy and spent weekends partying. No judgment, just different choices. After graduation, I got a job at a tech company making decent money. Felix got a job at a bookstore making minimum wage. Again, different paths, both valid. We'd meet for lunch once a month, and he'd complain about being broke while I'd pay the check. Normal sibling stuff. Then I got promoted to senior developer. My salary doubled. I didn't tell Felix the exact number, but he figured it out when I bought a condo. That's when everything changed. He started calling me a sellout for working in tech. Said I was contributing to society's problems while he was keeping literature alive. I said bookstores were important too. He said I was being condescending. Every conversation became about money. I'd mention a weekend trip and he'd say, must be nice to waste money. I'd buy new running shoes and he'd calculate how many hours he'd have to work to afford them. When our mom's birthday came around, I bought her a nice watch. Felix got her a card. At dinner, he announced loudly that some people actually had to budget and couldn't buy mom's love with expensive gifts. Mom looked hurt. I'd spent $300. Felix spent $3, but I was the bad guy. Then Felix started telling people I was cheap. Said I hoarded my tech money while he struggled. Our cousin Stella called asking if it was true I wouldn't help Felix despite making six figures. I said Felix never asked for help. Turned out he'd been telling everyone he asked and I refused. Complete lies. Our dad called concerned that I was being selfish with family. I showed him my bank statements. I'd been paying Felix's phone bill for 2 years without him knowing. Dad was shocked. Felix had told him I wouldn't even lend him $20. The real problem started when Felix applied to my company. Didn't tell me, just used me as a reference without asking. My boss Alan called confused, saying my brother applied for a senior position, claiming 5 years of coding experience. Felix had never coded anything in his life. He'd listed projects on his resume that were actually mine. Alan asked if I wanted to handle this internally. I said no, treat him like any other applicant. Felix bombed the technical interview, obviously. Couldn't answer basic questions, but he told the interviewer I'd trained him personally, and my success was built on his ideas. The interviewer called me to verify. I said Felix had never contributed to any of my work. Felix didn't get the job. He called me, screaming that I'd sabotaged him. I said lying on a resume was sabotaging himself. He said I owed him for all the years he supported me. What support? He meant emotional support when we were kids. He wanted a six-figure job because he was nice to me in middle school. That wasn't the end. Felix made a LinkedIn post about nepotism in tech and how connections matter more than merit. Tagged my company and implied I'd blocked qualified candidates to protect my position. Alan saw it and was not happy. Said this reflected badly on the company and me. I showed Alan all of Felix's lies, the fake resume, the false claims about helping with my work. Alan was furious about the reputation damage. Then something interesting happened. Alan knew Felix's actual boss at the bookstore, called him to get the full story. The bookstore owner said Felix was their worst employee, always late, rude to customers, spent shifts on his phone complaining about unfair wages. He was about to be fired anyway. The owner also mentioned Felix had been stealing books and selling them online, thought no one would notice. They'd been building a case for months. When they fired Felix, they mentioned the tech company had called about his character. Felix assumed I'd called his boss to get him fired. I hadn't, Alan did, but Felix didn't know that. He applied for unemployment but got denied because he was fired for theft. Tried to use me as a reference for new jobs, but I declined. Posted on Facebook that I'd ruined his life over jealousy. Our mutual friends laughed. What was I jealous of? Being unemployed with a philosophy degree? Our parents made him move home at 32. He has to follow their rules, including no phones at dinner where they make him explain his job search. Every family gathering he sits there while everyone asks about my latest project. He can't complain about my salary anymore because mom reminds him I still pay his phone bill. Last month he texted asking if my company was hiring. I said they were, but they require background checks now, specifically checking for theft and falsified resumes. He didn't reply. Felix still posts quotes about how money doesn't buy happiness. Comments are always people asking if unemployment does. Turns out the real problem wasn't my salary. It was his character. Same degree, same opportunities, very different results.